It's been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I understand the sentiment behind the saying, but it's wrong. I earned the building on a bet. I was strapped for cash and didn't buy into the old legends of the hotel to begin with, so $50 was more than enough to get me to do it. It was simple. Just reach the top floor, the 45th floor, shine my flashlight from the window. The hotel was old and broken, including the elevator, so that meant hiking up the stairs. So up the stairs I went. As I reached each platform, I noted the old brass plaques displaying the floor numbers: 15, 16, 17, 18. I felt a little tired as I crept higher, but so far, no ghosts, no cannibals, no demons. Piece of cake. I can't tell you how happy I was as I entered that last stretch of numbers. I joyfully counted them aloud at each platform: 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 44. I stopped and looked back down the stairs. I must have miscounted, so I continued up. 44. One more flight. 44. And then down 10 flights. 44. 15 flights. 44. So it's just been for as long as I can remember. So really, insanity isn't doing something repetitively and expecting different results. It's knowing that the results will never ever change. That each door leads to the same staircase, to the same number. It's realizing you're no longer falling asleep. It's not knowing whether you've been running for days or weeks or years. It's when the sobbing slowly turns into laughter. When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favorite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings Betsy and I would wake up and on each of our nightstands we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the house's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair, which kept against the back of the wall in the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch that chair forward across the room towards us. Sometimes she managed to move it all the way to the center of the room. We always felt sad putting it against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we moved out, I found an old newspaper article from the farmhouse's original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving them a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hung herself. The article included a photo of the farmhouse's living room, with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked over, was that old wooden chair, placed exactly in the center of the room. The doctor pulled the stethoscope ear tips out and hung the device around his neck. "Mr. Weatherby, all your tests came out negative and my examination shows nothing abnormal." Adam knew what was coming next. I'm not crazy, doctor." "I'm sorry, but there is no physical reason for why you occasionally lose control of your hands." "A psychologist can help. I don't need therapy. I need answers. They seem to have a life of their own. I can't hold a job. I'm under investigation for assault. I almost killed my neighbor. This can't go on. I'll try anything at this point." After 2 weeks on a new medication, Adam saw no progress and grew increasingly depressed. He was convinced that despite what the doctor said, it was not a physiological problem. That night, a frustrated and angry Adam sat in a chair and drank bourbon. Drunk and hopeless, he stumbled into the garage and started the table saw, then slowly lowered his wrists towards the screaming blade. Detective Armstrong entered the garage where several uniformed men stood over the blood-soaked body. "So what do we got?" he asked, taking in the blood-splattered scene. "This is a weird one, Detective." "How so?" "Take a look at the body. He apparently chopped his hands off with the table saw and bled to death. Armstrong knelt down. And we can't find his hands anywhere.